Bum 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 bum. Mr. Seahorse, he's so alone. Don't have nobody to call his own. Please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Seahorse, bring him a dream.
The Seahorse Effect is about a man who thinks he's pregnant. But also, there's a lot more to it than that. It's about a man who's going through a crisis. The Seahorse Effect is an off-kilter love story. Hello, my name is Sean K.R. Farrell, and I am the writer of The Seahorse Effect.
My name is Michael Smith. I am the director of The Seahorse Effect.
My name is Joshua Radford.
I'm Kathleen Grace Fiore.
My name is Elliot Wadsworth.
What's his name?
His name
How about George?
George? Wait a second, isn't that your name?
Yes.
Huh.
I like to write about broken characters, hence Will and Jess. I think once the kicking starts, once this pregnancy all of a sudden occurs, he seeks out help. First he seeks out help to his mother, but the next best person to be there for him is his friendly neighbor, Jess.
Will and Jess's relationship is something that I think is very fragile at first and throughout the show, and towards the end is more solidified, and even in, the short amount of time of this show, they really put trust into each other. I really love finding how she feels with herself against Will, and then ultimately how they sort of prepare themselves to face the future together.
Will's a little lost. He's a man, but he's still a boy. He's like a man boy. He's a mannish boy, and he wants to become the man, that he was meant to be, but he's still like holding on to these little childlike things, and he needs to find a way to move forward through that. And then later on in the story, there's going to be another character, George, that enters.
The point of George, I feel, is really he allows the two characters to kind of relate to one another. When you just have two characters kind of clashing and going crazy at one another, you need that third party, especially a third party like George, who is very, very interesting and very simple. And when you kind of throw that in there, it allows two other characters to really step outside of themselves and really kind of see the relationship between one another. And I like how George kind of brings them together.
K.R. Farrell, Josh Radford, Kathleen Grace Fiore, Elliot Wadsworth are all friends and colleagues of mine from SUNY Fredonia. We all attended there at different years, but at one point or another crossed paths as either peers or classmates or friends. I think this story is actually has a very important message, because you see people of our generation and age go through so much stress. There's so many expectations of this world on people today, and people sometimes react, and I think our generation sometimes cracks under the pressure. They put off getting a good job, or they put off the relationship and this and that because America and the society has put so much on it. I think this is important because that idea of kind of a ridiculous timetable of expectations has been set on our generation, and no really writers are touching on that right now and about the effects it has on us. This is kind of a heady play. There's some crazy things going on, and I think gauging the audience reaction is going to help us further this play, both for Sean as a writer and me as a director in the future, thinking about how do we translate K.R. Farrell's message and story to an audience.
The story is bizarre. It's just absolute madness.
I believe the Seahorse Effect is about moving forward when you're not ready to.
But underneath all the crazy, it's really a story about finding someone who gets you.
It's gonna be